Love is Blind revolves around singles trying to find their wife or husband, so essentially their partner. And so they join in this social experiment where they get to date so many people in a pod without seeing them at all. And then when they find the person that they are interested in, they then get engaged. They get engaged, and the rest of the show just shows how they adjust to this new person that they were emotionally connected to, but then maybe or maybe not physically connected to. And it's a really interesting show, and it was one that I loved. I watched it with my mom, I watched it with my sister, I watched it with my brother. Like, we're all so invested in the show, and it was one that I thoroughly enjoyed. And so in this video I am going to be talking about the couples, what I think of the couples, and this is a rant review. So if you haven't watched the show, I would advise that you watch it, because there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this video, and I am not going to be apologetic for it. So if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. And let's get into it. Brennan and Alexa. When I saw Brennan and Alexa, I actually didn't think that they were going to get to the stage of getting engaged. I just thought that they were connected, but I didn't expect it to get into the stage where they would actually get engaged. And that's because they were just like, it was just looking too perfect. It was like, oh, I like cooking, you like cooking, I like doing this, you like doing this. So it was like, there has to be something that they don't agree on. And we even see it along the line that they didn't even have any disagreement that we got to see, unlike the other couples. And that kind of made me a bit cautious, because I'm like, why are you not having disagreement? It can't be that perfect. And I don't know if they were trying to put on a front of being perfect, because even during the reunion they were talking about how they were fighting over dishes, and it just looked like trivial things, unlike the others that were really fighting and really having disagreements. So that was that. It was really perfect, and I like Alexa because she's confident, she's bold, she knows what she wants, and she's not going to compromise on it. And I love that for her. So, and Brennan fits her actually, because he's the kind of person that would go along with whatever she says, and he's going to love her the Alexa way. He's going to love her the Alexa way, and I really liked the relationship. It was nice to watch, but then it got boring because there was no arguments, but I really enjoyed watching them. And the only time I thought I felt a bit, well, I say iffy about it, was when she brought up the whole prenup thing. I thought that was going to be an issue, but that wasn't an issue, surprisingly. So that was that. All in all, their relationship was really cool to watch. I don't have a lot of things to say about it, because it was just all fairy tales and rainbows and ponies, and yeah, it was it was okay. It was just there. I don't have much to say. So let's go into SK and Raven. I actually didn't like Raven at the beginning because of how she was behaving when Bartise was telling her about his family, and when he was telling her about when he was being vulnerable with her, the way she was behaving, the fact that she was doing jumping jacks when somebody is expressing themselves to you and you're doing jumping jacks. How inconsiderate is that? No matter how much the person is, it just felt very insensitive to me, and I just wasn't a fan of her at that point. Well, as time went by, I started warming up to her, and I started liking her, just like the way I liked Alexa. I started liking Raven as well. So I really liked her, and I think that SK is just perfect for her. You could tell that she really liked the guy, and I'm happy that they are still together. And one thing that I like about their relationship is that they were moving in their own time. They were not trying to be like other people. Other people jumped into getting intimate on the first night, and there's nothing wrong with that. Definitely, there's nothing wrong with that, but I like how they moved in their own time. I liked how they were just like, we're going to take it slow, and when SK was like, I'm going to love you the Raven way, he wasn't pressuring her. And even Bartise was saying, if he was with Raven, she'll be sitting on his laps, and I'm like, that's because you will be in her space too much. You won't allow her to actually consent to it. You'll be too much in her space. So I really liked that they were both taking it slow, and they were doing it in their time. Because if I was the one, I would definitely take it slow, because in as much as you had an emotional connection with this person, you don't really know this person. And physical connection or not, I think taking it slow is just the best way to go. That's my opinion. So I liked how they handled it. I liked how she had a relationship with his mother. His mother is so beautiful, and as a Nigerian myself, it was really nice seeing the Nigerian culture being put out there in all its glory, because it was really, I really loved it, seeing them eat Nigerian food, seeing them eat amala. I was like, good representation. And I was bummed, I was so sad, and I was shocked when it got into them saying I do and SK said I do not. It was shocking to me because I really liked their relationship, and their relationship was one that I could count on, that both of them would say yes. So it was really surprising to me when he said no and Raven was ready to say yes. I was speechless. I was just speechless. Even my sister was speechless. We were all speechless because nobody expected it. But then I really liked Raven, and I like that they're going on with their relationship. And like I said, they're doing it in their own time. And as he said, they're going to take it slow. And I can understand where he's coming from. I just was bummed because I really like the both of them. So I was really bummed about it. So that was that. I like Raven. I like that she shut down Bartise, because why not? And she did something good. So let's go into Matt and Colleen. So when Colleen was getting rejected by two men, in my mind I'm like, just give up. Just give up, just let it go, because yeah. But then she had hope, and she went on to Matt, and I could see that connection there. I could see that she was comfortable around him. I could see that she liked the guy, and the guy obviously liked her, and they were lovey-dovey, and it was really fun to watch. And when he talked about how his ex-wife cheated on him and got pregnant for the guy she cheated on him with, I was like, this guy is going to have a lot of trauma. You cannot tell me nothing. This guy is going to have a lot of trauma. And truly and surely, it showed, and it showed in ways that I didn't expect it to show. Of course, I expected him to have trust issues, because that's how it is. And one thing about relationships and one thing about healing is that you could go through the healing process, but at the end of the day, when you get into a relationship, your trauma could still show. That's one thing about it. So I wasn't surprised that he was going to have trust issues, but I didn't expect him to blow up the way he blew up. And that got me scared, because the way he blows up is very scary, and he's quick to want to leave. And I just feel like Colleen is going to have to always assure him, and always try to just reassure him every time that I'm with you, I'm okay with you. But then the way he blows up is really scary, because that kind of shouting, if someone shouts on me like that, I am leaving the relationship. That's just it. But Colleen really wanted to stay, and somewhere I just think that she just really wanted to be in a relationship. And we could see that, because after two guys rejected you and you were still having hope, I could see that she just really wanted to be in a relationship. And I felt for her, because it could quickly turn into an abusive relationship. And I have seen people on TikTok say that their relationship could be abusive due to the way she was behaving during the reunion. The Colleen that we saw at the beginning of the show was very preppy and happy, and then when it got to the reunion, she looked scared, she looked weird.
Before every night, it's a lot of fun, and we're loving it.
I could say that it was because she was uncomfortable with, because when I saw the reunion and the way she was behaving, I just thought that she was uncomfortable with the pool scene that they were showing, and so that was why she was behaving like that, because of how Matt had behaved when he knew about the pool scene, and then seeing it again in front of everybody, he might behave somehow. But then even that is weird, because they have gotten over it. So if he goes and shouts on her again, I just think that there's something wrong. But I just don't know. It could be anything. She could be happy, because I saw a TikTok of her having fun and saying, oh, she's with her person, and they both look like they were having fun. But then, the thing with abuse is that's how it always looks like. But I just hope that that's not the case, and I hope that it was because she was uncomfortable with the pool scene. Because if it's a case of abuse, man, that's something else. And at first I just loved how smitten he was with her, but then, like I said, when he started showing all these signs of getting angry, and even when she was talking to his friends and his friends were saying that, oh, he shouts and he gets angry, and they were concerned about her, I picked up on that, because it's like they were talking about how they had arguments, and his friends were like, yeah, we know you're going to shout, but Colleen, how are you? And at that point I'm like, funny but not funny, haha, funny, weird, so it was really weird for me. And I do think that she should have shut down Cole the way Raven has shut down Bartise, because Bartise was going on and on about, oh, how this, that, this and that, and Raven was just like, yeah, but there's no way we could have been together. I think she should have done that, but I just think she was trying to humor him. She was trying to do all that, so I don't blame her. But man, the way Matt kept on blowing up, there's no doubt that he's still going to blow up like that in the marriage, because marriage amplifies things. So that's that for both of them, and I really hope that's not the case. I really hope they're really happy, because Colleen is such a preppy, happy ballerina girl, and when she kept on talking about being a ballerina at the beginning, I'm like, so what should we do with that information? You're a ballerina, fine. And I wasn't impressed. I was just like, yeah, okay, good for you. But hey, I guess she really takes pride in what she does, so that's that. So the next couple I'm going to talk about is Bartise and Nancy. So can we just take a second to talk about Andrew? What was Andrew? It's not even who was Andrew. What was Andrew? Because I don't get it. Andrew was just doing the most with the whole eye drop thing. He was so dramatic. But you know what? I think I would have preferred Nancy to be with Andrew than to be with Bartise, honestly, because I just feel that Andrew would have been entertaining and they probably wouldn't have gotten married. I don't even know. But I just feel that he wouldn't have disrespected her the way Bartise had disrespected her. And even though they might not have gotten married, at least she won't get that level of embarrassment that Bartise opened her up to. So when they were in the pods and he turned down Raven because he liked Nancy, I really liked him in the pods. I thought he was a cool person because of how when the ladies were opening up to him, when Raven told him about what the service job she does during the weekends, and how Nancy talks about how she sold her eggs, and how he was really open to that. I really saw him as a really good person and a cool person, and I was like, cool, this guy is accepting and he's cool. But then it all just shocked me when he turned into something else, because even when he saw her, he was so impressed with her and he really liked her, and it was just so beautiful to watch. And then even when they went into their hotel suite, I think they were in a hotel, and how he was behaving and how he was like, come here, give me a kiss, come here, and it was just so sweet, and I really, really liked that. I was just really surprised that it all switched when he saw Raven, and that's when I knew that he was a shallow person, because it's like, okay, yes, you see somebody that is pretty, that you consider attractive, that is your type, that's cool, that happened, but then for you to keep on hammering on it, and for you to even go ahead and tell the person you're with that that was Raven, she's a smoke show, she's a this, she's a that, she's a this, she's a that, about the kind of people to even hammer on it. I mean, you cannot say. And the thing that even annoyed me was the fact that he was like, are you okay with this level of honesty? There are different ways to be honest. You could have said, yeah, Raven is an attractive woman, but I'm with you and I'll stick with you. Or Raven is an attractive woman and she's someone I would be attracted to on a normal day, but in the pods we had nothing to talk about. In the pods I really didn't connect to her, so there's nothing else. There are different ways to say these things. But to go ahead and say that to her was just so insensitive, and she was just looking like, what the, and that's when I started, I was like, no, Bartise, no, because you don't do that. You don't do that. He has no emotional intelligence. He and Cole, they're on the same boat. They have no emotional intelligence. And so I was like, okay, this is Bartise. And the fact that after talking to Nancy and telling her all these things, you still went ahead to talk to Raven. And Nancy will see you. And that's the thing. That's what I was telling my mom when we were watching that part. I was like, I don't regard this kind of honesty. This is not the kind of honesty that I like. Because it's the kind of honesty where you tell the person, and then you tell the person that, okay, I find this person attractive. And then you go ahead to talk to the other person. And then you'd be like, oh, but I told you that she's attractive. I told you that I'm attracted to her. I don't regard that kind of honesty, because it's the kind of honesty that you're just saying it for saying sake, so that she wouldn't hear it from someone else. You're just saying it just to say it, because you're still going to do whatever you want to do. And if Raven had given him the light of day, he would still go ahead to do whatever he wants to do. And that's why I don't regard his honesty at all. And he went ahead to talk to Raven. And I'm happy that Raven shut that down, because if Raven had given him the time of day, trust me, he would have tried to start an affair with Raven, and it would be so messy. And Nancy doesn't deserve that. Even the fact that he started getting disconnected and he was like, looks matter, and he wasn't even doing all the things that he used to do. It just looked like a case of love bombing to me. And the fact that he got his phone back, I just thought that maybe he has gone online and he has seen the kind of women that are his type, and now his woman isn't enough for him. And Nancy didn't deserve that, because she's such a sweet woman. And even the conversation that they had about keeping a baby or not keeping a baby, I just think that conversation he shouldn't have brought that conversation to his family, because there was no need for that. There was absolutely no need for that. And it just looked messy. And the fact that she kept on saying, yes baby, she was just I really felt for her. And when he went over to meet her family, I could tell that her family had their reservations about him. Her brother was like, you're saying, when her brother asked him, what do you think about my sister? And he was saying all these things. Her brother was like, these are generic things. You're saying generic things right now. And I really liked that they were really drilling him. And even her mother was saying that I'm going to stick by my daughter. And because her mother has been through a divorce, so she wouldn't want her only daughter, to go through this. And during the wedding, when he said I do not, I don't like how he spoke to her family. And even I don't like how she spoke to her family. Let's start with that. This guy has just embarrassed you. So the last thing you should do is to be talking to your mom like that. You can say, Mom, please, can we have a moment of privacy or whatever? But you don't say, Mom, leave this place, blah, blah, blah. What she was doing, I just felt that was really rude. And all for a man that just rejected you and embarrassed you in front of people. Who does that, So I didn't really like that. And her brother was right in attacking Bartise. And Bartise was, oh my gosh, he annoys me. Because the way he spoke to her family, I was like, you still have the audacity, you still have the effortry to speak to her family this way after embarrassing them, because they have every right to be angry. You just embarrassed them. You just embarrassed their daughter in front of people, in front of friends and family. They have every right to be angry. You just wasted their time. And instead of you to be apologetic, you're saying that, oh, yeah. No, that guy is and to even think that he was saying that, oh, we can still have a relationship after this, but yet was with a blonde lady after, like 1 week after or 3 days after the whole wedding. I just knew that he had clocked out since, and he was just kind of, you know what, my theory is Bartise just went to Love is Blind for the fame. He wasn't ready to get married at all. And Nancy's fears, when she found out his age, they were valid fears, because that guy is not serious and he's just trash. Boom. So let's get into the last couple, the couple of the season, because everybody has their theories. We have people that are team Cole, we have people that are team Zanab. So that's Cole and Zanab. So I think first of all, let's start with the whole thing. So they connected in the pod, and Cole is a very playful person, and I expected him to go for someone like Colleen. So I was really surprised when he was saying the whole, you're not deep enough for me, because you don't look like someone that is deep. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I was surprised that he wanted someone deep. Because he and Colleen would have been a match made in heaven, really. They would have gotten married and they would be happy and they would have babies. So that was what I thought. But then he went for Zanab and I'm like, cool. And I could already see that Zanab had insecurities when she was talking about how she hardly gets approached. She's a flight attendant and she hardly gets approached by men. And so when he started talking about how she's not his type, she's not normally the kind of girl he would go to, and the fact that he was ready to tell every Tom, Dick and Harry, the fact that he was ready to tell I could have, if I was in that same area with him and I'm a stranger and I go to him and I'm like, how is your relationship with Zanab? He would have just spilled everything to me because he seemed to be really vocal about how he felt about her physically. And I just felt that was wrong because you don't need to tell every single person that, oh, she's not my type. That's embarrassing, you know? That's how I feel about that. And the fact that when she talked to him about how she felt and how he told her that she's a 9 out of 10 but Colleen and Raven are 10 out of 10, that's how I knew that he doesn't have any emotional intelligence, because you just don't do that. You don't do that. You don't tell your partner that she's a 9 out of 10 and every other person is a 10 out of 10. You don't need you don't do that. You just don't do that. And the fact that even after saying all that, he was saying, do you want me to lie to you? Do you want me to lie to you? And that's the thing. I've been in a situation like that where I was talking to my ex and I was telling him that I don't like how you talk about other girls in front of me. I just don't like it. I find it disrespectful. And he was like, so do you want me to not say that other girls are pretty? I don't even know how he said this, but then it's a very weird thing to say, and I just think it's wrong, and it just shows that you lack emotional intelligence. That's it. Because you just don't do that in front of the woman that you claim to love. You don't say things like that. So it struck a nerve with me when he was saying, do you want me to lie to you? Do you want me to say, oh, you're the prettiest girl in the world? You don't, what? Even if you're not fully attracted to her, you should know that you should know the things to say. That's what I'm saying. You should know the right things to say. You don't have to lie to her, but you don't have to be honest as well, because that whole honesty thing is just an excuse to be disrespectful, in my opinion. And I felt for her because as someone that has insecurities, I know that she would feel really down. She was already conscious because when she had wiped off her makeup and he was like, you look different, she was already conscious, like, oh, do I really look that different? I was expecting that from her, and it was just a lot, and he was just saying a lot, and she had nothing to say. Yes, that would affect her self-esteem in many ways. So nothing he was going to do was going to make her feel good. If he tells her she's pretty, she's not going to believe it because she already knows how he feels, because he has already given her brutal honesty. And now that she has spoken to him about how she feels about it, and he knows how she feels about it, anything that he says, she's not going to take it serious. She's not going to just take it serious. And that was that for that. But I do think that Cole is an immature man, and I know many people say that. I've seen people on TikTok say why are we making excuses for him and saying he's immature? But that's what he is. He's immature, and he's 26. I think she's older. So he's an immature man, and he is a child. He's a child in a grown man's body. He's a playful person, and he says a lot of things. And I don't think he means the things he says. I'm talking about his playful countenance. I don't think he means the things he says. I think he just says them. I think he just says these things because. So I don't think he really means them. So when he says all the playful things he says, he's actually just being playful and just being himself. Unlike Bartise, that means every single word that he says. But I do think that there were things he said that were very insensitive, like asking her if she's bipolar. Like, don't do that. And they are just not compatible. That's what I believe. Zanab has her insecurities, and one thing I noticed during the show that I feel many people don't talk about is how she was very critical of him. When he tried to cook for her, she was very critical. When he tried to play with her, she was very critical. And I don't know if it's as a result of she had resentment towards him for the things that he had said to her. Maybe that's why she was doing that, but we cannot take out of the fact that she herself is not an angel. She was being very critical, and it's like the guy can't catch a break as well. So Both of them are at fault. Both of them are not compatible. I saw a video, I think on TikTok. If I find the video, I'll put it here, where somebody was talking about how Cole went for Zanab because she's more mature, and Zanab went for Cole because he's immature, and so she feels she can mold him to be the person she wants to be, and it was just a very toxic relationship.
I think after watching the reunion, for me, it became so obvious why those two picked each other in the pods.
Tell us.
I think Cole was attracted to Zanab's maturity and almost like in a weird kind of toxic motherly way. And I think Zanab was attracted to Cole's immaturity. I think Zanab was attracted to someone that she thought she could control and kind of mold into what she wanted. I think that's what drew each other to one another. And I think that's why it didn't work out.
There was no way they would have said I do. I expected her to say I do not, but I didn't expect her to embarrass him the way she did, because yeah, I didn't expect her to do that. That was ruthless, and for her to say that it's when she got to the altar she made that decision is a lie, because no, she planned that thing. She planned it, and she also said that during the reunion she said he was with another woman, or he kissed another woman, or something around that, and that's enough for you to make your decision. That's enough for you to say I don't want to be with this guy. So for you to come and tell us that it was when you got to the altar you made that decision, nah, that's a lie. She had clocked out since. That's what I believe. And what I think is that she could have told him the things she told him on the altar personally, but she never did. She waited for that moment, and that was just something else. I feel she shouldn't have done that, because I think the guy actually liked her. I think the guy genuinely liked her. That's what I think. I think he really liked her, so he wasn't expecting that. So that was ruthless. So about the whole cuties thing, I don't know why people call it cuties. Were they not oranges? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm Nigerian. But the whole cuties scene, the whole cuties thing, what I think about it is that Zanab actually said the truth. She said what happened word for word, but it was how she interpreted it. And I get it. I get why she interpreted it that way, because this guy at the beginning has already knocked down her self-esteem and her self-confidence. He has already said things to her that has made her lose or have a lack of self-confidence and self-esteem. So anything he says, she's going to interpret it that way, because she would see it as him being critical. She would see it as her not being enough. And that's valid. What I think she needs is therapy, and that's just what it is. So yes, I don't think it makes her a liar, because we wouldn't know if she's a liar or not. Maybe the whole kissing, whatever that happened, was true, or maybe it wasn't. We will never know. We'll actually never know. I don't know, but I just think that it's not as black and white as people are trying to make it seem. It's not as, Team Cole, Team Zanab, as we're trying to make it seem. I think it's just a case of both of them have their issues. Cole doesn't know how to speak. He's not mature. And Zanab has a lot to work on when it comes to her self-esteem. And that's what I think about the whole situation. So people that are like justice for Cole, and people that are like Zanab is right, both of them have their issues. Like, it's not like one is an angel and one is the devil, or one is the saint and one is the devil. It's a case of two people that are not compatible coming together, and they're not meant to be together. Zanab needs therapy, and Cole also needs therapy, and he needs to work on himself and learn to be more mature. All in all, I actually enjoyed the show. It was a really good show, and it has taught me something. Love is not blind. Don't be deceived. And like Brennan Lee said, love is not blind. It's just that some people prioritize physical appearance more than others. So people can overlook the whole physical appearance thing because of the emotional connection they share with you, but others might not, and that is fine. So that's that for that. I just think it's a cool show. I mean, I just don't like the fact that people have to get to the altar to say the I do not, because I think gathering your friends and family and people that want to rejoice with you just for the wedding to not hold, just for this awkward scene to happen, is just something else. And as a Nigerian, I know how people would take that if this was happening in Nigeria. So yeah, that's what I think about that. But I really enjoyed the show. If you haven't watched it and you watch this whole spoiler, don't watch it again, because I've already spoiled everything for you. What are you watching? But you can go ahead and watch it if you want. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, turn on post notifications, because that would really help me, because I'm a small YouTuber. I'm trying to be a big YouTuber. I'm trying to reach as many people as I can. So if you can support me, that would be really awesome. I share writing tips, I share reviews. I just like to have fun here, and this is just my little hobby that I'm doing, and I would really appreciate if you support me. And check the description box for the things I do. I write books as well, so you can read my books, you can listen to my podcast. I have a lot of content for you. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to share with your friends, and until next time, bye.